Alrighty guys, it's showtime once again for the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim on the Righlon YouTube channel. Last video we found out Mercer's plans. He's going to go retrieve the eyes of the Falmor, which are ancient jewels or gems of some sort. In the last video, Brynjolf told us that Carlotta wanted to speak to both of us, me and Brynjolf, or Brynjolf and I. And now we're going to go see what she has to say.
Brynjolf, the time has come to decide Mercer's fate. Until a new guildmaster is chosen, the decision falls to you.
Aye, lass. And I've come to a decision. Mercer Frey tried to kill both of you. He betrayed the guild, murdered Gallus, and made us question our future. He needs to die.
We have to be very careful, Brynjolf. Mercer is a nightingale, an agent of Nocturnal.
And it's all true. Everything I heard in the stories. The Nightingales, their allegiance to Nocturnal, and the Twilight Sepulchre.
Yes. That's why we need to prepare ourselves and meet Mercer on equal footing. Just outside of Riften, beyond the southeast gate, is a small path cut up the mountainside. At the end of that path is a clearing, and an old standing stone. I'd ask you both to meet me there.
I have some preparations of my own to make. I'll meet you at the stone.
I'm preparing to leave for the standing stone. What is it?
Okay, so there's a standing stone on the outskirts of Riften nearby. So it doesn't sound that hard to find. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's not far at all. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to go out the back gate to get there. Thief. I'm about to kill him.
I'll bathe in your blood!
I just hit the door on accident.
Don't think you can barter with me.
Still arrow goblet. Nothing all that great.
One of the...
There's a gate over here. I don't know how to get there from this gate. Hall discovered, and they're already here.
I'm glad you're here.
What's the significance of this place?
This is the headquarters of the Nightingales, cut into the mountainside by the first of our kind. We've come to seek the edge we need to defeat Mercer Frey.
What kind of an edge?
If you'll follow me, I'll try to explain on the way.
Tell me about the Nightingales.
Gallus, Mercer Frey and I were once members of what's known as the Nightingale Trinity. The Trinity disbanded 25 years ago when Mercer Frey betrayed us by slaying Gallus and dumping his body in the ruins of Snowvale Sanctum.
Were they a part of the Thieves Guild?
Indirectly. The Trinity is usually selected from the ranks of the Guild, although its existence is a closely guarded secret.
What is their purpose?
The Nightingales protect the Temple of Nocturnal, a place known as the Twilight Sepulchre.
Who is Nocturnal?
She's the mistress of night and darkness, and the patron of every thief in Tamriel.
I never met a thief that worshipped anything.
Nocturnal isn't one for worship and reverence. There are no priests and no sermons, no services, and no alms. She influences our luck, and in return, demands payment.
Sounds like a guild contract.
You're closer to understanding than you realize. The only difference is she doesn't demand payment in the traditional sense, and sometimes the cost can be quite high. Whether you know it or not, Nocturnal dictates how well we perform as rogues.
I have my skill, not powers or magic.
Again, you have to think differently. Haven't you ever noticed how our luck behaves? Like a novice picking an impossible lock, or a blind man suddenly turning to face you as you reach for his pocket. It's through these subtle means that Nocturnal influences us.
Sounds like she just likes us to suffer.
Nocturnal's whim is the greatest mystery to everyone. There have been volumes written on the subject. Does she exact payment when we die? When we suffer, does she revel in our misery? No one knows. The return certainly seems worth the risk, though.
Am I to become a Nightingale?
It's my hope that you will, yes. This way, please.
Just
She's
walk
just
away?
out. Please, keep following.
We're gonna try to become nightingales. I think I just saw a fox running there. Of the elite when it comes to the Thieves Guild. I wonder if the Grey Fox was a nightingale.
So this is Nightingale Hall. I heard about this place when I joined the guild, but I never believed it existed.
The assumption that the Nightingales were just a myth was seeded within the guild on purpose. It helped divert attention from our true nature. What's wrong, Brynjolf? I can almost hear your brow furrowing.
I'm trying to understand why I'm here, lass. I'm no priest, and I'm certainly not religious. Why pick me?
This isn't about religion, Brynjolf. It's business.
So we're gonna go sell our souls for business. I dig
This
that.
is Nightingale Hall. You're the first of the uninitiated to set foot inside in over a century. Now, if you'll both proceed to the armory to don your Nightingale armor, we can begin the oath.
I kinda wanna check what's over here. Give me a second. Not a whole lot of nothing. So we're getting some Nightingale armor for what it sounds like. We already have the Nightingale blade. We got that. 2 quests to go. After we transcribed Gallus' journal. Now we're gonna get a set of Nightingale armor. This kind of reminds me of the Dawn Star Sanctuary for the Dark Brotherhood. Okay,
This
so
is
it's
enough to make your head spin, eh?
You appear hesitant to don
Close,
your
just jump
Nightingale
on us.
armor. What's troubling you?
Does it actually work? No. Equip the Nightingale armor. So our current armor rating is 148 with a full set of Thieves Guild armor. With a full set of Nightingale armor has gone up to 191. It's a decent increase. I just don't like the looks of those iron arrows, but there's some glass arrows on the back. They look cooler. What do we got here? Nice little room. I'm probably gonna buy a house, so I'm gonna buy Breezehome or Breezebone in Whiterun. That's 5,000 septims. Just so I can have a place to put some of my extra stuff, because I'm getting a decent amount of extra stuff. I have 2 sets of Thieves Guild armor on top of the set of Nightingale armor I just got. I have an axe of Whiterun. I now have the Nightingale bow, or Nightingale blade. And I like to put those things on display because I like keeping those instead of selling those things.
Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a Nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a Nightingale? That was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a Nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal?
Well, my soul belongs to Akatosh already because I have the dragon blood. So of course, yes, I'm ready.
Good. After I open the gate, please stand on the western circle.
West, that's to the left, I think. Yeah, it's to the left. We want to become Nightingales. So from what I understand with the Nightingales is they're very secretive, and they're kind of like, well, if I could have a real life relation, it'd be like, I guess, what the Delta Force is to the U.S. Army. It's a very small number of them. Very few people know how to get into it. You have to be selected to get into it. Very few people know how to, what the training is like, or what they even look like, or who they really are. It's a very secretive organization.
I call upon you, Lady Nocturnal, Queen of Murk, and Empress of Shadow. Hear my voice.
Ah, Carlia. I was wondering when I'd hear from you again. Lose something, did we?
My lady, I've come before you to throw myself upon your mercy and to accept responsibility for my failure.
You're already mine, Carlia. Your terms were struck long ago. What could you possibly offer me now?
I have two others that wish to transact the oath, to serve you both in life and in death.
You surprise me, Carlia. This offer is definitely weighted in my favor.
My appetite for Mercer's demise exceeds my craving for wealth, Your Grace.
Revenge. How interesting. Very well. The conditions are acceptable. You may proceed.
Lady Nocturnal, we accept your terms. We dedicate ourselves to you as both your avengers and your sentinels. We will honor our agreement in this life and the next until your conditions have been met.
Very well. I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same, Carlisle. And in the future, I'd suggest you refrain from disappointing me again.
Not gonna lie, that was fairly anticlimactical. We just stood and stared. A big glowing ball appeared, and I said, "Yo, two people want to become Nightingales, can we?" And the ball goes, "Yeah, bro." Nothing all that great happened.
Now that you've transacted the oath, it's time to reveal the final piece of the puzzle to you. Mercer's true crime.
He's done more.
Mercer was able to unlock the Guild's vault without 2 keys because of what he stole from the Twilight Sepulchre, the skeleton key. By doing this, he's compromised our ties to Nocturnal, and in essence, caused our luck to run dry.
So the key unlocks any door.
Well, yes, but the key isn't only restricted to physical barriers. All of us possess untapped abilities, the potential to wield great power securely sealed within our minds. Once you realize the key can access these traits, potential becomes limitless.
The guild should possess this item.
Although it would benefit the Guild more than you can imagine, in the end it would do more harm than good. If the key isn't returned to its lock in the Twilight Sepulchre, things will never be the same for the Guild. As time passed, our luck would diminish to the point of non-existence, and whether you know it or not, our uncanny luck defines our trade.
First time I ever set out to return something.
Very true. In our line of work, it's quite rare we set out to return a stolen item to its rightful owner.
Well, let's go.
Before we depart, Brynjolf has some business to discuss. I suggest you listen to him.
Listen, lad. There's one last piece of business we need to settle before we go after Mercer. The leadership of the Guild.
Why tell this to me?
Carlia and I had a long discussion before you arrived here. Thanks to your efforts, Mercer's treachery has been exposed. After we deal with him, all that remains is restoring the Guild to its full strength. As a result, we both feel that you have the potential of replacing Mercer as leader of the Thieves Guild.
Me? What about you?
I've been at this game a long time, my friend. A long time. I've stolen trinkets from nobles and framed priests for murder. I'm good at what I do. Maybe even one of the best. but it's all I know. I've never been one to lead. Never desired it, never cared for it. Don't want it.
I don't know what to say.
Well, we have a bit of an errand to run before your coronation, so don't get sentimental on me now.
I accept.
Then it's decided. When this is all over and Delvin's contacts assure me that we've regained our footing in Skyrim, we'll handle the details. Until then, we have quite the task ahead.
Then let's get to it.
I've been poring over the plans you brought us, and I'm convinced the eyes of the Falmer are in the Dwarven ruins at Erkenthand. Carlia and I will meet you there. Prepare yourself, lad. This will be a fight to remember.
I guess we're Nightingales now.
Aye. And some of what Carlia said is starting to make sense. Mercer may have damaged our reputation and raided our coffers, but this goes well beyond even his twisted form of larceny. Old Delvin kept calling it a curse, and we all laughed at him. Looks like the joke's on us.
Do you think we stand a chance against Mercer?
If you would have asked me that yesterday, I'd have said no. But now I think our chances have improved. Look, call me crazy if you like, but I trust Carlia. I don't think she'd lead us down a suicidal path. Besides, I'd rather die with some of Mercer's blood on my blade than spend the rest of my life regretting that I ran the other way. Until next we meet, lad.
See, I like that. Delvin said that something has cursed us, the Thieves Guild, and that's why the Thieves Guild has been going through such bad luck recently. And apparently, whenever Mercer took the skeleton key from the Twilight Specular, Nocturnal knew about this, and she cursed the Thieves Guild with it because of it. And the rest of the guild didn't know what had happened, that Mercer had stolen the Specular key, or that Mercer had stolen the skeleton key from the Twilight Specular. So in this quest, we're going to hunt down Mercer, and the next quest we're going to the Twilight Specular to return the skeleton key. Once we do that, Nocturnal will once again be in favor of the Thieves Guild, and she'll like us pretty much again. And pretty much one set of armor. Let's see if we can't have a talk with Carlia. I don't feel stronger.
With the skeleton key missing from the Twilight Sepulchre, I'm afraid Mercer's seen to it that none of us can benefit from Nocturnal's gifts.
But she spoke to us.
You merely transacted the oath, signed the unwritten contract with Nocturnal. In order for us to receive our abilities, our end of the bargain, I'm afraid the key must be returned.
Yeah. Then Nocturnal's angry at us?
If Nocturnal was truly displeased with me, with any of us, she wouldn't have answered my call. I have no doubt that we still hold her favor, and I believe it gives us enough of an edge to defeat Mercer Frey.
May I ever return to Nightingale Hall?
Yes. Now that you're a Nightingale, you may consider this your home. You'll find that this place offers many things that will help you in your endeavors, as well as a wealth of information for you to learn. Once the skeleton key has been restored to the Twilight Sepulchre, I'll make this place my home as well.
Okay, so the Twilight Specular is like the Holy Lands of the Thieves Guild and the Nightingales, I suppose.
Sorry, lad. I've got important things to do.
The Twilight Specular is, I guess, trespassed on or disrespected, and the Nightingales have to come and protect it. And if it don't, just like how nobody knew anything about Mercer stealing the skeleton key from the Twilight Specular, then Nocturnal gets angry, and then she curses the Thieves Guild. And that kind of makes sense. Not the selling your soul to Nocturnal part, because I don't think I'd ever do that for any amount of physical money. But you worship, well, you don't worship her, but you accept her gifts of luck and the special abilities that come with being an agent of Nocturnal and in the afterlife, and during your life you have to serve her by protecting the Twilight Specular. That's kind of a cool concept there. Well, that's it for this video. We are now officially Nightingales, which is the elite of the elite when it comes to the Thieves. We are found out where Mercer is. We have to go track him down, and I believe we're going to kill him. We're going to kill Mercer, and he has a skeleton key, so we're going to take the skeleton key. And after that, we have to go to the Twilight Specular and return the skeleton key. Well, that's it for this video. This is Righlon, signing off. This is where we have to be going to. Okay, I discovered this. Utter Hills Cave. Yeah, I'm not that far from it. This is Righlon, signing off.